Hello everyone and welcome to another review. This is going to be the very first review of the Goodsmellas that I kind of mentioned a while back on my channel. It's going to have the opinions of the Goodsmellas in it, so it's going to be a little bit longer on the opinion than most of my other videos that have cuts with other people's opinion on it. So it should be very exciting, it should be very enjoyable, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get on to the review of Bleu de Chanel. I figured it would be a good fragrance because it's a little bit more on the popular side. It's one of the mainstream designer fragrances that's out there. It's gotten a lot of press, whether it be good press, be bad press, and figured, you know what, why not start with this one? So here is the bottle. This is a 3.4 or 100 milliliter for those of you on a different system. The bottle is kind of see-through. I'm pretty sure you can kind of see because I have the light kind of going against it, but you can see the juice that's in there as well. So it's a very dark bottle, but at the same time it's a little bit, I want to say smoked out or glassed so that you can see through it. But other than that, it's a very simple design, just as Bleu de Chanel. The cap is magnetic actually, and it comes, just clicks on, clicks down. The one thing I should mention on this is the bottle, at least my bottle, my top or my cap is kind of coming loose, and so it kind of comes off. That's the only thing. I'm not sure if other people have had a similar problem, but Bleu de Chanel, very simple bottle. The fragrance was released in the year 2010 by Jacques Paul, who has pretty much created most of the other men's Chanel fragrances. I believe he's done some other women's Chanel fragrances as well too. So very well known, very well put together for it. Now, let's get into the notes for this fragrance. For the notes, we have pink pepper, citrus, peppermint, nutmeg, vetiver, grapefruit, cedar, labdanum, jasmine, incense, patchouli, ginger, and sandalwood. So from that mix, you kind of get the impression of what you're going to smell. This fragrance really reminds me of a typical generic type fragrance. Now, that comes with a lot of connotations, both good and bad. When this fragrance was first released, I remember a lot of people kind of had the thought of, oh man, another Chanel fragrance is another generic fragrance, another kind of like sporty type of a fragrance, and they're not far off the base with it. It really hits a lot of those categories, but the thing is, it hits it and it does it well. I get a very strong grapefruit type of a vibe from this fragrance. I get a strong sporty type of a fragrance. I get a strong wet type of fragrance. At the same time, citrus, very heavy. The difference with Bleu de Chanel than most of the other ones that you're going to smell is, with most of the other ones that you smell, it then dries down into that woodsy stage towards the end and really becomes a woody type of fragrance, and most of the citrus is gone at that point for most of the other fragrances. For Bleu de Chanel, that never happens with me. It never really goes down to this woody dry down phase, but the citrus is always there throughout the entire fragrance. And it lasts at least 8 hours on my skin. So it lasts a long time on my skin, and on top of that, it maintains its citrus, grapefruity vibe to it. So it's got a bit of sweetness, it's got a little sportiness, it's got a little bit of the water, a little bit of the citrus, and that remains in the fragrance. It comes off as definitely a type of fragrance that you'd expect to smell on, I would say, your average professional young person. That's really what I get from Bleu de Chanel. Now, this, when I first smelled it, it smelled very similar to something else that I had smelled, and it took me a while, but then I figured it out and realized I had it in my collection and realized what it really smelled like and why it reminded me so much of something else. It reminded me of Bongo by Iconics. This was a really cheap fragrance that I purchased a while ago. I've actually done a review on it. I'll put a link down below somewhere, but it's a very cheap fragrance and it has this same citrus grapefruit type vibe. The difference is this only lasts like 2-3 hours on my skin, whereas this, again, 8+ easily. All right. I would recommend this fragrance year round. I think it is strong enough and a little bit sharp enough that it does well year round, although most people might say that it actually does well for the spring or the summer or warmer weather, which is perfectly fine. Wear it whenever you feel like it. As far as we went over season, went over longevity, age group, I really believe that any age group can actually go through this and wear it perfectly fine. And for situations, work is a great place to wear this one. I really think that this can double as somebody's signature scent as well. Work is a great place, casual is a good place. You can even wear it on dates. It's a great thing. Let's see what some Goodsmellas thought about this, or almost all of the Goodsmellas, what they thought about the fragrance.
It's actually pretty good. It's more for like a date, like nighttime, like more into like summer nighttime, going out or. I like it, but it's not for me. I give it like a 7 out of 10.
Chanel Bleu. It's nice, maybe like a nice work scent, but I wouldn't buy it. But as a gift to somebody, I would definitely recommend. 1 out of 10, I would give it about 7.
Now, this is Chanel Bleu de Chanel. This is a really nice fragrance. I really like it. A lot of people has trashed it. I believe it doesn't deserve the trash beating. It's a really good summer scent. On the designer side, it's really well done, well blended. It does project and last quite some time on your skin. This and Edition Blanche are two of my favorites in their line. I give this 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, because I do really enjoy this, and it's a great spring and summer scent.
This is nice, a little generic, but it's nice. I give this one a 5.
I'd say Bleu smells fantastic off the top. Wow, I swear, if this could last like 10 hours, this would be great. Wow, Bleu de Chanel smells awesome. On paper, it's a 10. Yeah, definitely a 10 with Bleu de Chanel. Very.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely give it a 10 on paper.
Okay, Bleu de Chanel. I like it a lot. I smelled it on others. It smells great from this test strip. Definitely a little bit generic. Easy to wear. What's not to like? I'll give it a 7.
This is nice. It's very, it's easily approachable. I mean, it's easily accessible. Very easy to love. Fairly simple, but it's got a bit of depth. It's meant to be very appealing to a lot of people. Very marketable, very designer. You know what? At the end of the day, it just smells good. I can't complain. It's not earth-shattering, but it's good. I would give this B-, probably a B-.
I like this. It smells kind of familiar to me. It's sweet, masculine, and it's slightly aquatic as well. Almost like a Fahrenheit Aqua, or it's very rounded. I'm really enjoying this one. This is the top notes, so I'm not too sure how it would dry down. It's also a little powdery. So far, I like it. Out of 1 out of 10, out of right now, I'd probably give this maybe a 5 or 6.
You didn't say it was blue. I wonder if I would have thought blue, but now that I'm smelling it, I can definitely see this being blue. In Sephora, average guy, before he's about to go out for the night, might douse himself in this. Still 1 to 10, I give it a 6.
So, as you can see from the comments, it was actually pretty well liked by the Goodsmellas. 7, 7, 5, 9.5, a 10, a 7, an 8, 6, 6. Some of our Goodsmellas would not prefer it as their fragrance, but they still at the same time recognize that, or at least thought that it was a pretty good fragrance, despite the fact that it does come off as generic. That was one of the highest or most said things, that it does come off as generic, but at the same time it does smell good. There is no getting around, at least for most people, not getting around that it does smell good. there were some detractors that didn't necessarily think that they would actually get it for it. I'm sorry, I don't mean Goodsmellas when I say detractors, but I'm actually talking about other people in general. You can see their comments, obviously, from the Goodsmellas below, but some good reactions overall, and overall it is a very nice and well-liked scent. Personally, I give this fragrance an 8.5-ish, around out of 10. I like the fragrance. I really have no qualms with it, except for, I mean, yeah, it's not original, it's not groundbreaking, it just does generic really well. It just does, you know, the average really well, and there is, at least in my opinion, really no getting around it. It's still a nice fragrance, and I think it's a very nice bottle-worthy fragrance, especially for somebody who's just looking for a fragrance to smell good and to do them, you know, well every day, day in, day out. Take a look at Bleu de Chanel if you're looking at fragrances along those lines. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to let me know. Leave a comment down below, send me a message, or send the Goodsmellas a message as well. Again, all of their comments are there. I'm actually going to link the Goodsmellas page down below so you can ask them questions on, you know, maybe things that you want them to elaborate on. Okay? So have a great day and take care of yourselves.